It is September 3rd, 2024, live in the building. Level Up College Football Podcast.
Level up.
Big G sitting back in the building with a special guest, my boy Mod from the Know It Alls Podcast. You know, we get out and we got a special guest coming in. Sensei will be with us here in a minute from the Horns and Sons Podcast. But Mod, man, how you doing? What's going on? And welcome to the Level Up College Football Podcast.
Honored to be here, man. Honored to be here with Big G, man. We doing our thing. And G is thorough on this college football. He said that he was 7-0 this week. So, maybe G Stradamus is working early. I don't know. Maybe it is what it is. But yeah, man, awesome week of college football. I'm excited. I'm ready to get it popping, ready to get it started. Man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man, it looked like we got Sensei. Let me see if his screen is right, bro, because the screen looking big trash. Let's see. That screen is big trash.
Yeah,
Sensei,
can you hear me at least?
We can hear you, but you got to wipe the screen and do something because your phone is that's one of those trash Apple phones. But that's another subject. What's cracking, Sensei, man? Welcome to the Level Up College Football Podcast. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, let me get my lights right. Let me get myself together. Can you see me?
Absolutely. We can see you. We can see you and hear you. So tell the people what's cracking, man, so we can keep this thing pushing.
I'm doing all good then. I'm doing all good. You can follow me at We Are Chosen on Instagram and also catch us at Horns and Son with me and Victorious.
Absolutely. Fellas, so listen, we got a special podcast. Normally, it's me and Andy P in the building on the Fans First Sports Network channel, but we're doing a special Level Up College Football Podcast today on the Know It Alls channel because we got a big game going on this week. And you see Mod got that thing behind there, and he's throwing up the horns already. So we're going to be moving some furniture around this week on the show for sure. But listen, I got a question. I got a question to ask the live chatter before we even get to it. Have you liked, subscribed, and shared this podcast with everybody that we rocking with for sure this week? Because if you have, subscribe, and share will push us over the limit because we got a lot of things just going on today with a special this week, and we got some big-time announcements coming. But the special thing we got coming next, Mod, hit them with that new intro for the Level Up College Football Podcast.
Man,
and we're
G,
back. Yeah, that's boss, bro. That's
time
boss.
to level up. Time to
We got
level
nice
up.
things. We got
Yeah.
nice things.
That's right. Trying to level up the podcast, level up your knowledge of college football, and wherever you get your audio podcast, be it Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, make sure you're listening to the Level Up College Football Podcast with me and my boy Andy P, man, because it's going to be rocking out. And I got a special announcement at the end of the podcast today for something that was going to get spicy moving forward with the college football season. But today I'm here with Victorious, my brother Mod. Today
Mod,
I'm here.
You got it.
I'm here with Sensei. We're gonna talk this college football thing through, but like how we do on Level Up, with a little bit of mix of the know-it-alls. We're gonna do a little review from last week and talk about some games that me and Andy, and for the record, G 7-0, pulling out that G Stradamus right off the bat, 7-0 with the games. My boy Andy P went 6-1. Hey, he only missed picking North Dakota State over Colorado. So, fellas, what did you think about the Miami-Florida game? Just give quick thoughts about what you thought.
I mean, I'll just say it, and I ain't got much. No, I don't know. Sensei got more. Man, quarterback is phenomenal. He transferred. After going back watching, not just the highlights, but some of the all 22. Boy, special, man. And we better look out for you better look out for Miami because literally, that's a good team. That's a good team, and you better look out for him move forward. So that's all I gotta say. Quarterback special. He's special. The throw across his body into the end zone when he was rolling to the left on a rope. Great arm talent.
Absolutely.
Cam Ward looked like he was out there playing on easy mode, to be honest with you. And I have a little special history with Cam Ward. He was at Incarnate Word. If you know anything about Texas, I'm in Austin. That's in San Antonio. Dude was lighting it up then. There was a reason Washington State wanted him. Dude beat Wisconsin. So he's been being Cam Ward this whole time, no matter where he goes. And so I didn't really expect anything less from him. Now, if you flip it on the other side, I keep thinking of Billy Donovan. That's not Florida's coach anymore. But what's his name?
Mario Cristobal's.
No, not Miami. Florida.
Billy Napier. Billy Napier.
Yeah, Billy Napier is on the hottest seat in the country right now. That boy is shifting, doing all kinds of stuff, trying to find a cool spot in that seat because it is bad times in there. You see that video where they were where the Miami players were trying to recruit the Florida recruits?
It was unbelievable the disrespect that was shown towards the Florida Gators in the swamp concerning Miami saying, if you want to win, bring your behind over to Miami.
Boy, did the Suge Knight on him. He did the Suge Knight.
and by the way, Florida, you're cooked. I've been predicting this since the preseason started all the way across the board. The Gators will not win but maybe 2 games all season, maybe 3 at the max. But the program needs a complete turnover and changeover. Fellas, Texas A&M, Notre Dame. What you thinking about that? Because I think Notre Dame.
Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, bro.
Wait, hold on before you go. Michigan better block better and have better decision making at quarterback, or I'm gonna be happy. Mod went AWOL.
Wow, that's from Running Through the Jungle, B-Dirt, man. I hear that comment, man. Sensei, what you thinking about the Notre Dame deal, bro? Notre Dame and A&M.
I called Dad and I was like, maybe I texted. Was it a call? I think I called you.
No, you called.
I was like, I can't tell if I'm watching 2 good teams play and they're just deadlocked, or if it's 2 bad teams playing each other. And I figured out that neither one of these teams have offenses. That's going to plague them this whole season. That's what I was watching, is teams with bad offenses and decent defenses. And I do think that the Golden Toppers are eventually going to be the top 15 team in the country. It just they're never going to be fun to watch. And A&M, I don't understand how you go a whole offseason knowing that the offense is the problem and then walk into that job and not solve the offensive problem. Like, what are you doing, Mike Elko?
It's called insanity. It's called, when you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that's called insanity. But Mod, what do you think about the Golden Domers? Because I think, listen, Notre Dame has a top 5 defense. That's my take. But what are you thinking about Notre Dame A&M?
So, at first I told Chris, I said, man, these are 2 good teams. But I fall in the same mindset that you're in. I think both of these teams offensively haven't developed an identity. I believe that Notre Dame will find one before A&M will. Yeah. But I still believe that, they don't have offensive identity, but they're defensive giants. Both teams can really play defense. There was some slobber knockers out there all across the board, from A&M and from Notre Dame. And I mean, look, I'm going to tell you something. You go down there to Kyle Field, the 12th man really plays a part in what you're doing. I mean,
fourth largest field in college football, Mark.
Well, let me tell you the truth. I've been there. I got recruited by A&M when I was a kid. So I'm gonna tell you the difference is that the field sits on top of the players. So it's the closest stadium. It's so close in there. That's why you hear all of the noise. That's why they call it the 12th man. Because realistically, the crowd's the 12th man, and they can do it. So them being in College Station made a difference. But in the end, I think Notre Dame is going to catch fire before A&M will.
Facts. All right. Mod, I called Colorado to beat North Dakota State, but I almost hit the score head on. Colorado looks dynamic in a couple of positions, but I just want to get your take concerning the Colorado Buffaloes moving forward.
Definitely. B Dirt said, agreed. Running through the jungle said, agreed, Mod. I trust Leonard to get going eventually for Notre Dame. I do. I believe.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I believe in the kid.
Yeah. So when it comes down to Prime, man, I think Prime, they have a better offense than anybody would have even pegged. Like, they got talent, they got weapons, and Shedeur had at least a half a second more than he had, or maybe even a second more than he had last year. I think the line is going to get and improve and get better. But G, I have to apologize to you on a national stream.
Oh,
Dylan Raiola is like that, dog. Like,
yes, sir.
He is like that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm gonna tell you, he's like that. He got arm talent. He practices with Mahomes and Mahomes coach. He looks like Mahomes. He
does.
himself after Mahomes. I mean, and he got Isaiah Neyor down there. But I will say, Prime's defense is maybe
it's
two
still
or
a
three.
problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Maybe
It's
they're
still
two
a
or three.
problem.
Maybe they're 2 or 3 plays better than they were last year. I mean, Shedeur had Shiloh had 9 tackles this game, and I mean, from a safety, you don't want your safety having, or in the double digit tackles. That means everybody's getting.
That means the linebackers is getting cooked.
Right.
They're getting cooked right off the back. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Warren Sapp has done enough to fix this line. I don't know if they got it. Just me.
Sensei, your thoughts on Colorado, man, beating North Dakota State with the game. What do you think about Colorado week 1?
I'm gonna hold off until we talk about Nebraska, because most of what my dad said I agree with. When we talk about Nebraska and the Colorado, I'll circle back.
Got you. So, but I'll say this. I do believe that Travis Hunter is one of the most dynamic players in college football. I think he's a top 3 or 4 defensive back in the country. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver in the country. And that says a lot, speaking of what he is. And I do believe that Shedeur Sanders is a top first-round NFL draft pick. I don't know if he's the top quarterback, but I will say he's a first-round NFL draft pick as of today. Now, we're going to see what he looks like against big-time college football programs moving forward. So the jury's still out, but I like to start for Colorado. Fellas, LSU, USC.
One more thing on Colorado.
Yeah, sure.
And you heard it here first on the Level Up podcast. You heard it here first. Deion will not return to Colorado at the end of the season.
Big
Deion
facts.
will be gone. He's losing number 5. He's losing
Joe
Shiloh.
Horn Jr.
Yeah, Jimmy Horn Jr. He's losing Shiloh. He's losing Shedeur. He's losing number 43. His other safety converted to linebacker. He's gonna lose about 6 of his guys that he started that people come to play with. He's gonna lose them. Prime's out of here, man. Now go ahead, G.
LSU, USC might have been the game all the whole weekend. We got 2 other ones we got to backtrack and cover, but I think that USC and Lincoln Riley then said we've arrived. So I just want to get you guys' quick thoughts on the USC Trojans with the big win against the LSU Tigers. Sensei, I'm going to go to you first, bro.
Yeah, if it's quick thoughts, I have 2 of them. One of them's a question. Dang, I forgot the first one. So I go to the second one. The second one is Brian Kelly, is he losing his fastball? That's my question. Is Brian Kelly losing his fastball?
He lost his fastball. He lost his fastball, bro.
He's good.
Yeah. Oh, my first thought is Lincoln Riley has been a good coach. He's been a good coach, and I think you're right. We're gonna see USC start to get its footing and establish itself in the next couple seasons.
Yeah, I think LSU is really all hype, but that's just me. Ma, your thoughts, man, concerning USC and LSU?
I mean, when you start to look at the game, he was in it. He was in it to win it. But I'm like Sensei in the fact that when it comes down to it, it's X's and O's, and it's Jimmy's and Joe's, but it's X's and O's, and with the talent he got, the X's and O's got him. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at it, not Notre Dame, I was about to say USC is gonna have a potent offense because Lincoln Riley is known for that, dog. Like he knows how to cook. He go in the kitchen. This is a man you just walk out. When he goes into the kitchen, you walk out. Let him cook. He knows what he's doing, and exactly that. He did it. He knows how to manufacture offense, and he totally did that to LSU.
Man, shout out to Miller Moss for coming in and Katie Barn and kicking the door down right off the back by winning Big Ten Player of the Week with an outstanding 400-plus pass game, which was supposed to be against an LSU potent defense. And I think that the USC Trojans is for real, man.
Hey, speaking of Big Ten Player of the Week, that Big Ten logo just looks right on that jersey. I did not expect for it to, but it really looks great on that jersey. There's a couple new logos on college football jerseys that just look right.
Yeah, facts.
Running through the jungle said Brian Kelly lost his fastball the moment he tried that BS Bayou accent.
Big facts, B-Dirt. For real.
God.
Hey, Rob Lightfoot, what's up, Rob? Welcome to the chat. We appreciate you. We thank for everybody rocking with us over there. I seen the Black and Gold Standard. After running through the jungle, G-Stack, J-Steve, Tim Lyons, some of them numerous people that we always see. And Tim Lyons got a bet he's collecting on with our boy Dean. Dean got cooked Tim. So Tim done cooked Dean, so he over there not saying nothing right now. So what's cracking, y'all?
You look at the Black and Gold Standard. You took the words right out of my. That's exactly where it's going. That's exactly where it's going. But go ahead, Big G.
All right, man. So we got 2 more games to review, and then we're going to take a break. Listen, Penn State, West Virginia.
I didn't see it. I watched a ton of football. I didn't see that one.
I have to say, Penn State finally looks like they have an offense. Shout out to Claude, Chat General. Look like they got an offense, man, and that's something that they're gonna need. They've been chasing Michigan and Ohio State these last couple of years and hadn't been able to get out their own way long enough to get something. But maybe, just maybe, they got some wide receivers and they're ready to do some. They're about that action. They're ready to have some motion over there.
Yeah, Wallace definitely looks like a Division I. Go ahead, bro.
Where are they at this year? Like I've asked you every year. Where is Penn State at in the Big Ten Conference? Are they first, second, third? Where are they at this year?
I would say right now they're tied between 3rd and 4th, but I will say that Drew Aller has leveled up his game. That's what we talk about on the show and on the podcast, and we give homage to the players that's leveled up their game. So Drew Aller has definitely leveled up, and so they're a threat. They're a legitimate chance or threat for them to make the Big Ten championship game, what I'm seeing right off the bat. All right, and fellas, we got the last game. The cooking that went on, the beatdown that went on. The Georgia Bulldogs smashed Clemson. Your thoughts concerning, is Dabo cooked? Is it over with for him?
Let me take this one, Sensei. I gotta go on and mix it up.
You need an ISO?
Yeah, I need an ISO. Listen, Dabo Swinney, the game has officially. There are so many coaches that don't know when to walk away. That's why I love Nick Saban. Nick Saban said, hey, the game ain't what I'm used to. I can't keep up. Let me move out the way. Dabo Swinney is not like that. He feels like he can still do what he do, and he wants it. Gone are the Joe Paternos.
Facts.
Gone are the day of the Bobby Bowdens. You can't stay there forever and not change. People don't. The climate of college football doesn't allow you to keep and stack 3-year players on your ball club. So you're gonna end up having to use the transfer portal. You're gonna have to pay NIL money.
Yes,
Dabo ain't up for that. Ain't up for that. So if he cooked, man, he ain't just cooked. He's fried, dyed, and laid to the side. You need to go and move out the way, man. Move out the way, Dabo. Move out the way.
Sensei, your thoughts, man?
I'll go on the other side. I think So I'm a Texas Longhorn fan. Obviously, we do a podcast called The Horns and Son, and that game made me nervous to play Georgia. I'm not sure how many teams in the country could hang. What was it? 34-3. That was the final score.
34-3. Yes, they won. They only scored 3 points.
I'm not sure how many teams in the country right now could replicate that score on Clemson. Not to say that Clemson is, but I just don't think that's a thing that happens a ton with a ton of other teams. And so I think Georgia looked like the number one team in the country. It's week 1, but I can't think of a better win, maybe Miami, than what Georgia did to Clemson.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, look, and we're going to pause for the cause. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but I got a live ad read before we go to the commercial break. This is for Steel Curtain Network and for Fans First Sports Network. So we got a special thing. Check out DraftKings Sports Talk for your sportsbook needs. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code CURTAIN, CURTAIN. That's code CURTAIN for new customers and pay $5 and get a $50 credit for your Pick 6 on the first week guaranteed. Plus, one lucky winner will get an opportunity to win NFL Plus Premium on the behalf of the Steel Curtain Network. So if you're listening, make sure you use code CURTIAN, and it's guaranteed for $5 and a $50 credit for all the subscribers via Steel Curtain Network. And you get an opportunity to give yourself an NFL Premium Plus through 9/19 of 2024. Make sure you go and check it out. Let's take a quick commercial break. Pause for the cause. If you're listening to us on audio, wherever you get your Fans First Sports Network audio podcast, this is the Level Up College Football Podcast with Big G, Sensei, and Mon. We'll be back after 10. And we're back with the Level Up College Football Podcast in the building representing the Buckeyes. We got a couple of Longhorns because it's a special week. It's a special game, and we're going to get right to it. We ain't wasting no time. Fellas, the University of Michigan hosts the Texas Longhorns this week. So we're going to give a quick breakdown, quick synopsis, and fellas, you're going to give me your pick, and we'll go from there. So, Mod, I'm going to start with you. Is it Hook 'em Horns or is it Horns down this week for the Longhorns and Ann Arbor, Michigan?
Hey, it's 1,000 against 100, baby. We taking 100 men in there to go do what we about to do. I'm gonna let you know something, man. Listen, I watched Michigan game on purpose, you know, and B Dirt will kind of echo my statement. The quarterback play was atrocious. And you know, the offensive line wasn't there. Defense looked like the defense. The defense was defensive. You know what I'm saying? They were doing what they were supposed to do. So, you know, when it looks at, they won their game, of course, and they won. You know, at the end, they pulled away at the end. You know, but playing against a team like Texas, you're gonna have to hit early. You're gonna have to hit often.
Facts.
Because Texas offense, that's a team that can measure up against that Michigan defense. You know, we got weapons. That Texas offense has weapons. You hear me? I mean, listen, Isaiah Bond, you know, our tight end, Moore,
Andrew Knobloch,
and Knobloch, Blue, Javion Blue. Look at the other Wiesner, Trey Wiesner. The offensive line is like that. You know what I'm saying? When we start leaning on people, we can run the ball, right? So if you make any team one-dimensional, right, they're going to have a hard day. So I feel like our defense can make Michigan one-dimensional, and I feel like our offense is going to hit at least, you know, 28 to 35 times. So that's 35, 28 points that I think will score offensively. I don't think Michigan can get it. That's why I say Texas by 10, 28, 18. That's my final score. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Sensei, keys to the game this week for the Longhorns, man.
I'm gonna start with some things I know.
Mm.
I know that Quinn Ewers is in his third year starting at the University of Texas.
Facts.
I know that Michigan's quarterbacks have not played a full season as the starter.
Facts.
I know that last year Texas had 34 points in Bama and beat them 34-24.
Facts.
I know that this offense is capable of matching that. So, and the last thing I know is I know that Steve Sarkisian is in his third year here in Texas, third or fourth year here at
Facts.
Texas.
Big facts.
And Michigan has a rookie coach. So I think we have the edge when it comes to coaching until further notice. I think we have the edge when it comes to quarterback play. I think we have the edge when it comes to the offensive, our offense. And the only thing that I think might be comparable are the defenses. Michigan might even have a better defense if we're being completely honest. But I think we have been in tough environments before and still scored. Even when we lost to Washington, I think we scored 30.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think if we scored just 3-0, actually, let me ask you, how many points does it take to win this game?
I think it takes a minimum of 24.
Yeah,
I
think that's doable.
24. Yeah,
I think that's doable.
So,
Well,
Sensei, let me ask this question. When it comes down to it, and we're putting mano y mano out there, and we're saying, hey, this team does this better than this team. Defensively, when it comes to our passing game, do we have the edge on their defense?
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to running, do we have the edge on their defense?
Don't know. Probably not.
Okay. So flip the ball. Do they have the edge passing the ball on our defensive backs?
No.
Do they have the edge running against us?
Maybe.
Okay. So there's your wash, right? But in that wash, again, it comes back to the veteran quarterback leadership. That's what it comes back to. And Quinn was making tight throws and windows. I mean, throwing no-look passes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. That's why I said I picked the Longhorn.
He usually plays better in big games. Quinn does.
Yeah.
So I'm usually the cautious Longhorn fan, and even I'm like I smell victory. I smell some food. Let's go get it.
Hey, so listen, man, I'm not going to be a flip-flopper. I'm going to stick with what I've been saying all along. I bet my corner time for this. So if I lose this game, I got to go do corner time in Michigan Stadium.
In the stadium.
In the stadium. I got 15 minutes. Peter's got to record it. I got to go find a corner somewhere. And stand in the corner. It's 15 minutes. I got to do what I got to do.
I can't wait. Right. I need the corner time right there.
All right. I'm not going to flip-flop. And I just think there's something about going to Ann Arbor, Michigan in the Big House, which is the largest college football stadium. And oh, by the way, I'll be live there with B-Dirt in the mix with the Michigan Wolverines as a Buckeye, sitting and cheering my Big Ten team on as they play against Texas.
Are you wearing Buckeye stuff?
No. I got behind.
Okay, I'll just make sure.
I got all black. I got all black and camo, and it's behind enemy lines, man. I'm behind enemy lines. But listen, I got to cheer for the Buckeye. I mean, for the Wolverines because they're Big Ten. Got to represent. So anyway, I'll be there live for the game. And I just think there's something about the nostalgia going into the Big House that's different than anywhere else. It's the largest college football stadium out there. It's nothing like playing in front of 155,000 people, and that place is going to be shaking. So I think that maybe Sherrone Moore held something in the bag, and he was vanilla, and he didn't want to show. And I think that Michigan pulls this game off. I want to say 27-21 Wolverines in Ann Arbor for game one in week one. So that's our week one. That's game
Pop,
number one.
Before we move on, Pop, is there any team in the country that could make you root for the Oklahoma Sooners?
None at all.
Is there any team in the country that can make you root for the Texas A&M Aggies?
None at all. Not one.
Yeah, it's a special hate.
Hey, I cheer Big Ten across the board. I mean, Mod knows this. I want all the Big Ten's teams to win except when they're playing us. Except when they're playing the Buckeyes, I want them to win. So I'm not a hater against my conference. I need my conference because my conference is already showing that they can handle the SEC. So now we just got to go on and handle week 2 for sure. That's what I'm talking about. After she said, I get it. All right. So listen, we got game 2, Georgia Tech versus Syracuse, which is now looking like possibly an ACC championship game based on the mayhem that's went on in the ACC, because we know we got Florida State and a couple other teams over there cooked. So, fellas, I just want to get quick thoughts about Georgia Tech versus Syracuse, because I think Georgia Tech is a physical team, man.
I don't know that this is even a conversation, man. I mean, I feel like you're talking about this game because of y'all old quarterback, and I like this game is an irrelevant one to me. Let Georgia Tech or somebody win, and then Boston College meet up with them. That would be a game to talk about, right?
Miami is still in the
Miami,
ACC.
Yeah. That would be a game to talk about. I understand it though. I understand it. You know, you're rooting for Kyle McCord to fall.
If you had to rank 1 to me, if you had to rank 1 through 3 ACC teams today, I would go Miami 1, Georgia Tech 2, Syracuse 3.
No,
Syracuse. I think I was. Go ahead.
Miami, Boston College, Georgia Tech.
No, but that's just
Wasn't
me.
it was like, I think it was still a game in the third quarter with their FBS opponent.
They didn't play FBS. No, they played Ohio University.
Yeah, wasn't it still a game in the third quarter? I know Kyle McCord didn't play well in that game until they didn't pull away. Yeah, they beat them 38-22.
Kyle McCord threw for 400-plus yards, and his head coach said that I should send Ryan Day a champagne bottle, thanking him for gift wrapping Kyle McCord and sending him over to the Syracuse program at the podium.
Maybe I was thinking of a different game. At
the podium, I think. Hey, listen, I'm not hating on McCord. I'm just saying I think Syracuse has got a really good team. So I just want to get your thoughts, get your pick.
38-22.
38-22 Syracuse? 38-22
No. When they played Ohio.
Yeah, 38-22. So who you got, Georgia Tech or Syracuse?
Georgia Tech.
I mean, what?
Both of y'all got Georgia Tech?
Yeah, we don't even have to discuss it.
I don't even have to think about it hard. It's Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Give me Syracuse for the win. Kyle McCord throws for 4 touchdown passes. Syracuse is the real deal, and they have a heck of a coach. I think they've gotten all the recruits that they need. They stole a lot of kids from the SEC. They're an SEC school playing in the ACC right now. So I like Syracuse for the win. We got one more game on part 1 of the show. Utah versus Baylor. I think this is the sneakiest game of the week as far as a primetime game.
You've been on Baylor. And as we talked about, there was a team we talked about earlier that's in a similar position to Baylor. Mm-hmm. And what I mean is football's important in that town. Football's important in Waco.
Facts.
And sometimes you want it. And Florida. It was Florida. Sometimes you want it and it don't happen. And I think Baylor is in a position where they want it and that team is looking nice. I watched the game. Mm-hmm. They look fast. They look put together. Do I think that they're a Big 12 championship contenders? Do I think they're ready to play Utah? No. But do I think they're better than they were? Yes.
Wow. All right. So who you picking, Sensei, for the win?
Probably picking Utah like 28-35.
Yeah. Okay. Ma, your thoughts concerning Utah and Baylor?
Utah. That's who I'm picking. I agree with Sensei wholeheartedly. Baylor has anytime you're in Texas, you're gonna get athletes. Baylor's gonna always get his share of athletes, in the state of Texas. It's just like that. I think they're number 4 in the state of Texas, if you ask me. Because
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Because I still don't know. Is Dave Aranda a good coach? I still don't know. He's in year 5.
I think Dave Miranda is an outstanding coach. I think he's not a tier 1 coach, but he's a tier 2 coach.
Didn't he go winless? He went winless in the last season or something like that.
2 seasons ago, but he had to build a program from scratch.
Yeah.
That was in year 3.
I liked him as a coach.
I give him a tier 2. But what I say is that Utah still have a lot of talent. And Baylor is really pushing the reboot button. I don't think that they've caught traction yet. Probably will in the next couple of years. Because like I said, Texas going to the SEC really hurt Baylor. That crippled Baylor for real. Because kids who want to play SEC and stay close to home are going to Texas. So, that hurt them. And then Texas A&M already being in the SEC, kids love going down to Texas A&M for a couple of years. I don't even understand it, And then, of course, going to Lubbock would be the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the thing. That's the thing for me. And I just feel like Utah in this game.
All right. Yeah. So I agree with you guys for sure. It's a family thing. It's a family affair. I really do believe that Utah will win the game, but I think the game's going to be a lot closer than what a lot of people think. So give me the Utah Utes to win the game 35-27 against Baylor. And I think that Quan Finn, the quarterback for Baylor, is an outstanding quarterback and could actually show up and upset Utah. But I just think Utah has too many players in the trenches and they'll prevail. All right, fellas, we're going to take a quick ad pause. Pause for the cause, get a commercial break in for the Level Up College Football Podcast. Wherever you get your audio podcast, be it Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you swing to the Level Up College Football Podcast on Fans First Sports Network. Me, Mod, and Sensei will be right back after a quick commercial break. And we're back with the Level Up College Football Podcast, sitting with Mod and Sensei. Special guest this week on the Level Up College Football Podcast. My boy Andy P will be back next week with a little surprise. But fellas, we got 3 more games we got to talk about. And who would have thought when college football season kicked off that this will be one of the most pivotal games on the schedule? You have the Tennessee Volunteers playing the North Carolina State Wolfpack, which is pivotal for possibly the ACC and the SEC. So, Mod, I'm going to go to you, man. What's your thoughts and thinking concerning the Tennessee Volunteers versus the NC State Wolfpack?
I've been hearing this rumbling. What's his name? Tennessee starting quarterback?
Nico.
I've been hearing this rumbling that Nico, and I watched a little bit of it. He is the prototypical quarterback in Josh Heupel's system. Does Nico look good? Absolutely. But, people trying to say that he's the number 1 college quarterback right now. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all, and I'm not trying to hear it. NC State is gritty. They dirty. They like winning in a phone booth. You know what I'm saying? And when you find teams that like winning in the phone booth, who gonna win a nasty game, it's scary. I pick NC State. I do. I pick NC State in the upside. I think everybody jumped on Nico's bandwagon way too early. You know what I'm saying? Do I think that certain quarterbacks in a certain system become somebody? Yes. I believe Nico will be somebody in Josh Heupel's system, and Tennessee will be really good at one point because when he has a quarterback, he knows how to win football games. But I just feel like that, like I said, NC State, they win a nasty one. And I'll say that game's like 28-27.
Got it. Sensei, what you saying, bro?
So the game that I was actually thinking of when I was like, wasn't it a game? Was the game between Western Carolina and NC State last week. It was a game up until the 4th quarter. And that doesn't bode well. I love Grayson McCall. I'm always rooting for Grayson McCall. I like underdogs. And now he's at NC State. But boy, they look bad. And I was like, man, well, is West Carolina like a NCS powerhouse or FCS powerhouse or something? No, they went 7-4 last year.
Facts.
So I don't think that bodes well for going in. Who's home? Who's the home team?
North Carolina State.
I still think Tennessee probably comes and wins. To Dad's point, a freshman quarterback is going to have freshman quarterback moments unless your name is Johnny Manziel or Jameis Winston. But yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening with NC State unless Grayson McCall has a field day.
Well, hold on. They're playing in Knoxville, according to the Black and Gold.
Knoxville. So they're at Tennessee. They're at Tennessee. Correct.
Game 28-23. Hard to win in Knoxville. I understand you're right. It is hard to win in Knoxville. But since they pointed out the thing that I said, you know what I'm saying? Freshman quarterback. They like playing games in the phone booth. And although they won that game, it was a nasty game. It was it's one of them nasty games. Texas used to have those nasty games where we just didn't show up to play ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So when we did show up, we made it harder and we had to eke out wins. I feel like that's what that was for North Carolina State.
Hey, so I'm going to say this. I think Tennessee is the most scariest team in the SEC. I watched Ole Miss. I watched Alabama. I watched Georgia. I watched Tennessee. I watched LSU. I watched several SEC teams. And when I'm telling you Nico is for real, Nico is for real. I think that Nico has an opportunity to play himself into Heisman positioning by week 6 when they play Bama at the crib. So give me the Tennessee Volunteers to beat NC State in a rout. I like Tennessee to win 38-17, and Nico throws for 400-plus yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm digging him. I think he's the real deal, man.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, facts. All right, now.
So let me because I'm gonna have to get up here and I want to talk about this game that we got coming. Colorado and Nebraska. I want to get it in before I leave. Like I said, Dylan Raiola, that thing. He looked like Patty Mahomes. Came in the stadium looking like Patty Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Even so, he with the 15 on, he looked like that. I think that offense is much improved. Still got questions at cornerback for Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. So Colorado's offense is going to be able to score against Nebraska, but is Colorado's defense going to be able to hold Nebraska down? I think this is another one of those games where I feel like, man, it could go either way. I hate to say this because I really am betting on Prime. I'm riding with Prime. I just feel like my heart of hearts say Nebraska gonna get them. Oh, I'm gonna go against my right mind. I'm definitely go against my right mind, and I'm gonna be on a hold up the bias sign. I'm gonna be biased.
That's big bias.
I'm gonna be biased, and I'm gonna go with Colorado 41-35.
Wow, Sensei, who you got in this game, man? Colorado versus Nebraska.
I'm going to take a step back. Remember I said I was going to circle back? So there's certain things you can't replicate. You can't replicate Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. Can't replicate Tim Tebow at Florida, right? And when those things come along, when those kind of players come along, just watch them. Appreciate. Even if they're not everything. You know, Johnny Manziel didn't go on to win a national championship, but he did beat Alabama, right? And I think we're witnessing a special time at Colorado, where we have Shedeur, we have the Sanders family. It is something to watch and appreciate. Travis Hunter. That being said, I think I got Nebraska too. I like Dylan Raiola. I think here's the thing. I think if Colorado can get past Nebraska, they can do some stuff. However, I just think Nebraska is a deeper team, and we saw last year that they struggled with deeper teams. You know, when the talent wasn't overwhelmingly in their favor, they could lose. And so I'm hoping we see some growth from Primetime as a coach. Shedeur Sanders, I agree with you. I think he's a special player. I really do think like he's good. Travis Hunter's good, regardless of what happens to this Colorado team and what the
generational talents.
Yeah. I just don't know if they have it. I think this game goes to overtime. I'm going to say 35-38.
Wow.
Colorado.
Oh. Wow. All right. So,
I keep thinking like maybe Travis Hunter do something.
That's double bias. That's a double big bias.
We letting our bias take over.
So,
But look, Big G, thank you for having me on the Level Up podcast, man. I got to get back to it. Sensei, represent Will Horns and Son. Check us out on FFSN. Definitely, we represent for our Texas Longhorns, and we get it in. We get it in.
And where can they follow you at?
They know where to find me at. They know where to find me. You know what I'm saying?
Sundays on the Know It Alls podcast, for without a shadow of a doubt.
And also, we are Cowboys. We finna get it going. But I'm out of here. I'll holler at you guys. Thank you for having me, man. So much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. We appreciate it. All right, Sensei, I'm gonna give you my breakdown of the Nebraska game. Okay. Nebraska's offensive line average 6'5", 321 pounds. Nebraska's defensive line averages 6'4", 295 pounds. They have four.
I wouldn't have thought that. Okay.
They have a 4-man rotation at defensive tackle, and they have a 3-man rotation at defensive end. If you can't run the ball and you can't pass the ball in college football, you are officially cooked. They have outstanding players in Colorado at the skill position. Shedeur, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr. They got playmakers. But in college football, you got to run the ball and you got to stop the run. And I think that's it with Nebraska playing in Lincoln and remembering what happened to them last year in Colorado. Dylan Raiola, second fact, is special. Dylan Raiola is the number 1 high school quarterback recruit that should have been the recruit this year. He classed up to be able to play in college football this year versus setting. And he was committed to Ohio State. He was committed to Florida State. He was committed to Georgia. And then finally he landed in Nebraska because his dad is now a special assistant for the offensive scheme in Nebraska. So it's a family affair going on in Nebraska. I think that Nebraska blows Colorado up. Give me Nebraska 38-21. And Raiola busts on the scene and throws a minimum of 3 touchdown passes for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who might be saying, hey, we're 7-0 coming to play Ohio State on 10-2 of 2024.
I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. If there's a scenario for Colorado to win, what is that scenario?
The scenario for Colorado to win, it's got to be a shootout. For Colorado to win, it's got to be Colorado goes down and scores, Nebraska comes back and score, Colorado goes down and score, Nebraska comes back and they go back and forth, and the game is close going into the fourth quarter. If Nebraska is up by 7 or more points going into the fourth quarter, the game's over. Because those big bodies leaning on Colorado in the third and the fourth quarter is just going to play a big time thing, man. So I'm saying I think that Nebraska, because of their size of their offensive line and the size of their defensive line, is just going to push Colorado around come third and fourth quarter. That's my scenario.
Okay. And to put a button on this, last thing before we move on, where do you have them at in the Big 12? I mean, Big 10.
Nebraska is probably the 5th ranked team right now. And let me see. Let me make this clear. I go Ohio State 1. I go Penn State 2. I go USC 3. I go Oregon 4. Michigan 5. Iowa 6. Nebraska 7. Nebraska is the 7th ranked team in the Big 10 right now. But with an arrow,
we're going to lose to the 5th ranked team in the Big 10. But okay,
listen, man, all right. The Big 10 is a different animal. The Big 10 is a different animal. What's up, Mr. Woodside? What's up? Still a Girl 808, man. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to see you live on the Level Up College Football Podcast for sure. All right, nephew, we got one last game, man. Boise State, and we're going to give you a chance to give any shout out for any game you need to. Boise State against Oregon. They invade Eugene. Oregon looked big trash last week. Big trash against Idaho. So what you thinking?
At least the last notable time these two teams played.
Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount threw that punch. That was the LeGarrette Blount punch game.
Yeah. Facts.
I kind of think of these two schools as rivals.
Mm-hmm. Facts. I'm not tripping, and I believe so. I think that this is a bigger rivalry than what most people think. But I just want to get your thoughts, because I look like you froze right now. So I'll go until you unfreeze. But I think he's got a lot of rain going down right now in Austin, Texas. It's raining like crazy. But I just think that based on the game and based on what's going on, I think that Oregon might be in a little bit of trouble concerning the Big Ten Conference. I don't know if Oregon has the bodies in the trenches. And I know one thing. Boise State has probably the number one running back in the country. The kid rushed for 6 touchdowns and 300-plus yards last week in the game. So
he looked special last week.
Facts. So your thoughts, man, concerning Oregon and Boise State.
Am I breaking up or am I good?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but go ahead, just talk.
I think it's a trap game for
a trap game. Okay, go ahead, keep talking. Yeah, it's raining bad down there, man. So you breaking up. I got him. So Sensei, to get you out and get you out of here, man, and make sure you close out. I just want to get when you come unfrozen, I just want to get your score and prediction concerning concerning Oregon and Boise State, because I'm calling it right now. Give me Boise State in the upset. 35-28. Boise State goes into Eugene, and for Tim Lyons, that's a little bit of G-Stradamus for you. Boise State goes into Eugene and beats Oregon. I think we lost. Hey, Mr. Woodside, I see that, man. -19 for Oregon. Take the points. Tim says 18.5 now. I don't care what the points is. I don't think Dillon Gabriel is the real deal. I think Dillon Gabriel is not the real deal. So, saying all that, hey, it is what it is. All right, so listen, if we don't get Sensei back, I'm going to give you my final thoughts, close out for the Level Up College Football Podcast this week. First of all, let me give a shout out to what I'm saying, the top 10 college football teams. And I know that the polls came out, but the top 10 college football teams right now in college football, in my opinion, I want to say number 1 is Georgia. Number 2 is Ohio State. Number 3, I hate to say this, but it's true. Give me Miami Hurricanes. Number 4, Alabama. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 6, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Number 7, Penn State Nittany Lions. Number 8, Michigan Wolverines. Number 9, Iowa Hawkeyes. And number 10, Tennessee Volunteers. So that's my top 10 right now. It could change based on information, because with new information comes new stuff. So I like that top 10 right now. Second announcement I got to make for all of you guys joining us on the Level Up College Football Podcast. Next week, we have a brand new guest, a brand new client, a brand new person, a brand new co-host. Sarah Campbell will be joining the Level Up College Football Podcast starting next week. So you've always saw Andy P. You've always seen Big G. Now you're going to get Sarah C., a new member of the Level Up College Football Podcast. And lastly, we're excited for Sarah, but absolutely loving the fact that we're going to have a female perspective that we're going to bring to you concerning sports and information concerning college football. And lastly, you can catch me on every podcast that you want to follow on Fans First Sports Network and Steel Curtain Network. I'll be on the Homies Podcast and the Homies Overtime on Friday, the Pump Your Brakes Podcast on Wednesday, the Level Up College Football Podcast on Monday, the Know It Alls podcast on Sunday. And me and Tate Boy Fresh and Payday got a brand new podcast coming from you on the audio side on Fans First Sports Network. We're going to announce the name special on Friday on the Homies and Homies Overtime. Let you know that we have a brand new format, brand new, and we're going to talk about all 32 NFL teams every week. So it'll be live on audio. We're working on the video, and we'll be here. Shout out to Tim Lyons. Shout out to Afton. Shout out to Mr. Woodside. Shout out to Big E Bronco. Shout out to Steeler Girl. Shout out to Jay Steed. Shout out to Stacks. Shout out to the crew that's following us live on the Level Up College Football Podcast. And make sure you swing and get all your college football knowledge on the Level Up College Football Podcast every week. As for me, Big G, thank you to my special guests, Maud, and my nephew, Christopher, who we call Sensei. And we'll catch you guys next week live on the Level Up College Football Podcast. And don't forget to check the outro as we go out on Level Up. We'll check y'all next week. Peace.